puts me on day one, then I just know for a fact. Well, not for a fact, but I know there's going to be a lot less people there than day two.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
No, that makes total sense. I mean, so many people came just for Dead Mouse 2 years ago at Dance Fest, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a surprise. This is going to be the final episode of Between the Cheeks, and you'll know why next week. We have something very special coming your way, and we're really excited. And we couldn't be prouder to share this moment with the one, the only, Justin Franklin. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ecstatic, to be honest. It's been a whirlwind of crazy amount of ups and downs since I've been on this podcast last. And I cannot wait to tell you about everything that's been going on.
Sounded crazy. He's kind of hyped it up before the show, and it's gonna be wild. I have no idea the experience he's had, but I'm excited.
Yeah. It's gonna, trust me, like, because this is last time I was on this podcast. I think this was right before I left Omaha and then went and moved back to Dallas. I think
you're right, because you came back. We had that like house party for you, like show with like the slip and slide.
Yes.
And then
yes.
I think that's when we filmed the podcast. I could be wrong. It's the past like 2 years.
It's been a blur.
I don't know. I don't know when it's happened, but I know that there's a lot I haven't heard. And I'm here for the juiciness.
Yeah. So if I had to like give a general recap, just from 2021 onwards.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to be skipping a lot of stuff, but okay, 2021. I moved from Omaha to Dallas. I really just put my head into the dirt and just grind my ass off. And then after that, I start getting a little bit of attention. I start releasing a lot more music of my own. And then 2022 hits. I get my first festival appearance at UBW in Fort Worth, Texas. That was dope. Shout out Disco Donnie and the entire Disco Donnie team. After that, it really just kind of avalanched. So 2022, play UBW. June of that year, I move out to LA. Then I'm good. At that point, I start attending Icon Collective College of Music. Shout out to everybody over there. Then I play Lights All Night. In December 2023 comes around. I end up playing. I finish Icon, play Freaky Deaky that year, and then with a few shows here and there in between. Honorable mentions the Ace Aura show. Shout out Ace Aura. Super
that was cool.
Too.
I remember seeing pictures of that.
Yes,
that was cool to see you on that.
Super fun. Super fun.
He seems rad.
Honestly, one of my favorite artists, like one of my favorite artists that I've played for in general, just because, like, just a lot of the backstage talk, like banter, we had a lot in common, so we were just kind of going back and forth off each other.
Dude, that's the fucking key.
Then, so I play Freaky Deaky in Austin, 2023. And then, honestly, from that point on, I've just been kind of releasing music, kind of keeping my head down, just making sure I'm releasing some of the best work that I can. But in terms of music goes, that's really been it as far as since 2021. So it's been a roller coaster, to say the absolute least.
Dude, yeah. No, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, that's a lot. What does it mean to finish Icon Collective? Do you like graduate? Is it like,
yeah.
How does it work? Like, what is it?
Yes. So Icon Collective, man, I can't speak highly enough about Icon. So it's a college of music. How they structure everything, it is split into 4 quarters. It's the same thing like semesters. So it's pretty much built
Like a school year?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But instead of 2 semesters, there's 4 semesters.
Gotcha.
So it's a split into 4 quarters. So they're split into about 3 months each. I say about because you kind of get 2 weeks in between to kind of just chill out in between quarters. So pretty much, yes, the first quarter you kind of go through your basics as far as in terms of rhythm, music theory, piano,
That's
keys, and all of that stuff. And then as you work your way, it gets more advanced. But it piles on more work. So you have to really be on your P's and Q's in terms of turning things in, making sure, like if you're collabing with somebody on an assignment, you have to make sure they're on top of their game too. Sometimes we have competitions inside the classroom of who had the best collab for this week, things of that nature. So they really turn it up to 10 in terms of a lot of aspects. So
that's crazy.
So, towards the end of the program, they go into what is called the collab project. So yourself and possibly a few other people pretty much collab on a EP, and you are going up against your entire graduating class to see who's got the best EP, and who takes it all. Now it's kind of they hand out more than just one award, so there's multiple awards, kind of like an award show, but I won't give out the specifics just for in case anybody wants to go to Icon or anything like that. Yeah. But trust me, it is a great experience. I highly recommend it to anybody because again, it ranges from people like myself, who has already been making music and EPs in that nature, or I know people who just touched Ableton for the first time when I saw them show up. So because it's going through the basics first, they just want to make sure that you're able to grasp a lot of those concepts and things like that. So so it's not sense. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, only the elites can go and that kind of thing. No, it's not about that. It's favorable to everyone, and I just want to make sure that's very clear, just because I know that can possibly come off in such a way, but no, it's definitely not the case.
No, that's cool, dude. That sounds like cram school for like like production and music.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, like I said before we started the show, I told him I felt like I was in the Nickelodeon show Victorious for about a year, because like the similarities are obvious. I'm going to a music arts school in Los Angeles, and with a bunch of different people who also do the same thing, that are coming from around the world. So, and when I mean around the world, like I know, like I've met people literally around the planet now that are some of my closest friends. So, so it's really crazy to kind of think back and be like, wow, I really did that and graduated. So, shout out to the class of 23. So, because trust me, there's a lot of talent that comes out of Icon in general. Like, needless to say, like, let alone my class, but just, they just have a great staff there, and I just can't rave enough about it,
Dude, yeah, no, that's cool. There was a time back when I was like first in college, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew it was going to be music, and I like bought a DJ deck, like my first one ever. But I saw like a music EDM like college thing that was happening in LA. It wasn't Icon, but I talked to my mom about it, and she's like, "Do you think that's legit?" And I'm like, "That's a good point, because I bet there are like places that aren't as serious or like don't care as much, but that sounds awesome, dude. That sounds like a legitimate, like, really way to push yourself ahead of the learning curve, because the hardest part is learning how to put your thoughts into the program. That's it. Like, what do I do with my hands to get this to do this?
Yes, that's easily going to be the hardest part is, how do I get what I hear in my brain onto the computer and then translate that into sound? Because there's literally two different conversions you have to do there from your brain to the computer into sound.
Dude, that's like when you type something into Google Translate multiple times and
Yeah.
it just gets muddied up.
A-
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
That's
you have
I've
to.
been focusing on my ability to translate to the computer, but the computer to the sound makes
right,
that's
because I
equally
can,
important.
because I can hear a growl in my head, like just a regular
Yeah.
bass growl, but there's literally thousands of ways to make a bass growl, to make a bass growl.
Yeah.
So okay, that's when I say, oh, I want to make a bass growl. Okay, like how
Yeah,
does
what
it
do you want it to
sound?
sound?
How long is it going to be? Is it going to be a short one? Is it going to be like what kind of texture are you looking for?
Mhm.
Like there's so many different questions that you can ask yourself in that process that just saying I want to make a bass growl is like so vague
Yeah,
in
dude.
the grand scheme of things that
It is.
yeah, there's just multiple things you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, it's not just yeah, I think that's cool. The concept of it's not necessarily that you're wanting to make a bass growl. You can learn how to make a bass growl, like you said, 1,000 different ways. But like,
Yeah.
what do you want this to sound like, and how can you use everything else to make it? Like, dude, I'll open up Serum
Mhm.
and I'll try to make a sound, and I'll just immediately want to puke. I just want to like puke
Yeah,
and fall
but
over.
Look, the
It's
best,
worth it, but it's like
it is
it's hard when you look at it, man.
right. So the best way I can explain it is I was at I spend a lot of time with Pixel Terror and the entire Hyperpunk estate. Shout out to those guys. Love those guys.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, go.
That
They
sounds
actually,
like a post-hardcore like pop punk band.
I can't. Like they are so creative. They actually Pixel Terror and Athers actually just dropped a collab called Novocaine. Y'all should go check it out. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Really, really, really dope track. But they're issuing essentially a movement, and now I don't want to. I want to let them speak on that more than myself because they have a lot more knowledge on how they want to present that.
Yeah.
But the entire hyperpunk movement is so creative in terms of what they're trying to do and what stands behind it. That's what's the really cool part about it to me. So, but anyway,
What's the difference between hyperpop and hyperpunk? Is hyperpunk just a name, or is it that an actual genre?
no, I would say that's the genre
That's the
that
genre.
they're really spearheading.
Okay, cool. I haven't. I just I've
Because
not,
you have
I don't know
hyper
why.
pop.
Yeah.
No, but now this is hyper punk. So
Gotcha.
so it's literally punk. Like they're infusing. And again, I want them to speak on it so that
of course.
they can articulate it in a better way.
Yeah.
But from just based off of what I've seen and what I've heard, it's not only just like it's not only a subgenre, but it's an entire mindset. It's an entire expression.
That's
It's
pretty
an
dope.
entire it's an entire
cool.
thought process. So it's not just oh your typical like minor subgenre. It's its own mentality. So so again, shout out to Bentley. Shout out to to Athers. Like you guys are just killing the game. So really want to make sure that that's out there. But
That's cool, dude.
what I learned from PT and all those guys out there is literally just messing around on Serum or whatever plugin you use to design music. Literally just messing around. Sometimes you get lucky. Like sometimes you just you just have to mess with it enough and understand what you're messing with. Like to try new things because that's what's going to lead you to possibly a new sound that can be your own, that can resonate with people, that as soon as they hear that type of sound, then they're like, oh, that's so and so.
Yeah, that's definitely this person.
Yeah, so that's kind of the one of the main viewpointers that I took from those guys.
Dude, that reminds me of the process of making Gengar. Like that was the first track I made entirely like on my own because Reese and Drew just like were unavailable. and I
Yeah.
made it in Ableton. But I had a whole first drop. It was dog shit. It was so bad, dude. It basically sounded like that was the whole drop, and I decided to scrap the whole thing and just remake it. And I luckily found a serum, like a way to use serum in a way I haven't before. Totally transformed the song, and that's like one of the few songs I've made just myself that I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
But it was just with
Right.
like I had to fail like breaking my head against a brick
Yep.
wall of a drop that sounded irrecoverable to like get it to. But yeah, I that's so key.
No, trust me. I literally made like at one point when I was at Icon, I ended up just working on some of my own personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got I had a case of like writer's block essentially, and I was just really uninspired, and I was like hitting my head against the wall. And at one point, I just was like so irritated that it actually the anger in me broke through, and I ended up writing a track that's unreleased that is possibly one of my favorite tracks. So it's funny enough, like hitting my head against the wall, is just, like, and making myself like frustrated with it actually made some of the best work.
I've never seen the animal come out of you, man. The
Yeah.
JFrank,
Oh,
you're so nice, dude. I'm
man.
excited to see the
Oh man,
the
yeah.
rage.
There's one song I know that I'm playing tomorrow. Yes, we'll get to that. But there's one song that I know I'm playing tomorrow that I just, again, it's unreleased for now, but
Heck yeah.
but I ended up calling it Death Beam, just because that's what it sounds like.
That's cool. I like that.
And I'm not even gonna tell you when I'm going to do it. You're just going to know.
I'll smell it, dude. I'll smell that the moment that knob will turn.
Yeah, you're just gonna know.
That's gonna be a nice Thanksgiving dinner.
I can't wait. So yes, tomorrow, which would be the 27th, I'm obviously here in Omaha, playing at 10 Forward. My good buddy Zach, obviously Reese, who could not be here, and my good homies Glava and Arab. So we're gonna be throwing down some tunes, and I can't wait because it's been a little bit, because like I was here back in November, but I always try to come to Omaha at least once a year to just to kick it with some homies.
Yeah, dude.
And just to play some music. You know, Omaha's done a lot for me, so I want to at least try to give back a little bit to in terms of just throwing a show to where everybody can go, everybody can not think about whatever they're going throughout that week, throughout that month. Just have one night and just vibe, just rage, do whatever you need to do just to have a release of whatever you're going through in reality. So,
and it's free from 9 to 10 p.m. Is
yes,
that right?
Yes, it is.
At 10 Forward. It's in Benson in Omaha, Nebraska. If you don't live in Omaha, Nebraska, you should still come. But if you actually are listening to this and don't live in Omaha, I don't know who you are. I don't know how you found us. Come to the show.
Yeah. It's going to be free from 9 to 10. And during that same hour, it's open decks. So that'll be really good. I do know a few people who are already planning on showing up.
I'm excited. I know one of them. A good pal. He's been on the podcast. Little our man's Vinny.
Vinny
P.
Vinny. Shout out Vinny.
I'm excited to see you play, man. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but if you do, this is a little Easter egg for you. Yeah. You're doing well.
So, it's going to be a really dope show. Can't wait. And I have a bunch of new music that I'm getting to play. I literally made a whole new intro just because I was like, you know what?
That's worth it, dude.
Yeah.
For your inaugural annual show in Omaha, dude, you gotta have a kick-ass intro.
Yeah. I was thinking about can this be just an annual thing?
You should do it. JFrank in Omaha?
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna get bigger and bigger every time.
Yeah, that's what I want to do is just try to figure out exactly how I'm gonna do it, because this time around, obviously it wasn't exactly a year because it was November last time. Mm-hmm. Now it's in July. But I want to space it out to where I can genuinely get people involved to how can we make this better? How can we make this bigger?
Yeah.
How can we improve on what we already have? So that's kind of like the trajectory of where I want this to go. Um,
Heck yeah, dude.
and yeah, I want to keep growing this. So, and at one point, funny enough, I actually do want to start bringing Texas artists.
You should. I want to talk to you more about Texas in a bit, but
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
dude, that you should
Because
totally.
oh my god, there's so many people, there's so many artists in and not just Dallas, but in Texas in general that I feel need a lot more shine just outside the state. And that I could just rip off the names if I wanted to. Prism, Malware, Flexus, what is there's like I literally could just go off the top of my head in terms of,
that's amazing. That
because like yeah, they get a little bit more more shine obviously in state because we live there, but I just feel like they deserve a lot more, like really Famox, Champagne Poppers. I could keep going on and on and on about guys who deserve a lot more credit than they currently
do
get.
Texas Takeover.
So, oh man,
Why
I
don't you
trust
just do
me.
that? Well, I guess
So
it's a lot of logistics.
They all
have to agree to it and come here.
Yes,
That's
so
very
it's
difficult.
and one thing is like it's just getting the. I'd have to like really see exactly what the Omaha scene would be down for, because like again, these are all bass guys, obviously, so I know that they'd be down for it. It's just like I kind of want to test the waters 1st before I really
yeah, Omaha's been getting a bit more housey.
really.
I've noticed it's a lot more. Well, I guess the shows that are being put on are more like artists that are in that genre, like at 10 Forward, like with Willow and Elusive.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh, that's like becoming more prevalent. And Lincoln, they really haven't had much at all besides Royal Grove.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
but like that's pretty much the only thing I've really seen. It seems like the Lincoln scene hasn't had much going on recently. But Omaha, it's just like there's a lot going on, but it's all locals, which is awesome. That should be supported. But that's like it's interesting because it used to be Lincoln and then Omaha basically had nothing, but now it's like
they completely
shifted.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely heard. Oh, there's a kitty here. Oh.
Yeah, he's cool.
So I've definitely had my eyes and ears out here as of late, just to obviously to promote the show, but because I got the homies out here, so it makes it a little bit easier to kind of have keep tabs on everything. So I've definitely been seeing what's been going on. It definitely looks like there's been a huge shift in where everybody's going to be in terms of the nightlife. So because I really don't hear a whole lot of in terms of like.
No, like even like the bourbon.
Yeah,
don't see
I was gonna
shows.
say like I don't see anything in the bourbon really.
No. I haven't seen any like EDM artists at Pinnacle Bank either. A bit.
Yeah, and then I'm like, that's kind of a shocker because I mean like Subtronics have come through here, Riot 10's come through here.
I love them so much. I would kiss Subtronics on the fucking mouth, dude. Oh my god, I would whisper sweet nothings into his ear for a moment to be close to him.
Oh my god,
I love him, dude. I've cried at every show I've ever seen.
Really?
Every single Subtronic show I have bawled.
Wow.
Like, it's so awe-inspiring, especially when COVID was around and he made Opus, like his like fight against depression. And I went to Dance Fest for the first time in years and he played that. And I was just like, and just tears streaming down my face, dude. He's a god. I just want to meet him someday. I've had multiple, this is really funny, and Patrick would be okay with me saying this. I've had multiple dreams. Patrick likes to talk, and he like occasionally interrupts sometimes.
Yeah,
that's fine. But I've had multiple dreams where I've gotten a chance to meet Subtronics, and I go up to talk to him, and I'm like really happy. And then Patrick fucking comes up and interrupts us and starts talking over me to him, and it makes Subtronics walk away. And then I'm like, Patrick, no. And I've woken up 3 times from that dream being like, but I find that so funny because Patrick was like, yeah, I'd definitely do that. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so when that
my
moment
man.
comes up, I would literally just keep my head on a swivel, like,
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna
you
look at Patrick.
Stay over there.
I'm gonna have M tackle him to the ground like 50 feet away.
Honestly, I'd be like, yeah, you're staying over there.
Yeah,
while
like I
I'm
would
having
love
this
for you to
conversation.
meet him as well, but I need to have
Give
my
me some,
moment.
give me some
Yeah, this
time.
is my man, dude. Speaking of which, we met Taboo.
Really?
I don't know if I told you about this.
Oh,
And
you opened for?
I opened for Taboo, but also, um, something about the show this Saturday at 10 Forward in Benson in Omaha, Nebraska. You haven't heard any of our rap music live.
No, yes.
There's a limitation tomorrow, more than likely, in that we will only be able to do the songs that just Reese and I are in.
Mm.
But I'll probably do 2 rap songs, but one of them is about self-love. It's called I Suck. It's about sucking your own dick.
As soon as he said I suck, I was like, is he going where I think?
Yep.
Okay.
I suck my own dick. Macaulay Culkin Home Alone dick. I talk about setting traps for penis so that it falls in my mouth.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. And it's for some reason, we put out a whole rap EP, and that's the one song that everybody knows. We played at Four Winds last week at a rap festival, and Justin Strawstone, shout out to him, amazing man. He put it all on, and then one of the first things he said is like, "Yeah, these guys talk about sucking their own dick." When he was introducing me to a friend, and I'm like, "Yes." Like we're professional rappers now that are talking about dicks and cum. 6 out of our 8 songs talk about dicks.
Are you serious?
Yes, actually 7 out of 9. Yeah, that
7 out of the 9.
Yeah, but Taboo, we opened for him.
Yeah,
and we played I Suck, and we also played a song that we have called Richard Nixon, about Richard Nixon, and that he has a piss fetish. And we played these 2, unbeknownst to us, the whole time we were rapping. Fucking Mitch Taboo is off to the side of the stage like this. And we finished playing, and Rawl and Chris Otter both came up to us and were like, "Hey, like Mitch wants to see you off stage. Like go off stage."
Dude, I've been meaning to meet Chris Otter for some time.
He's like elusive. He's like a next dimensional being almost. He I feel like he just traverses from place to place like somehow magically.
Yeah.
Like his commitment is insane.
Yeah.
But he's really cool. You'd like him. Chris.
Let's talk.
Mr. Otter. He's really cool. I honestly I'm like almost intimidated to talk to him just because he's so experienced and so like weathered, and like he knows exactly what to do and has like led so many things that I get like, I'm like, "Hey, thank you so much, man. Like really appreciate you."
Oh man, like.
But then he will like at that show he like was like, "Ha, Zach, the first thing I look at Facebook, I just see your post about the show," and like we just like riffed back and forth. But
yeah, I mean, like
I get nervous, dude. Larger than life people, I get so nervous because I feel like I'm not like there, or like I feel like I'm looking up to a god. Basically.
See, but you have to bring it back down to earth though, because at the end of the day, they're just people
somehow.
Yes,
I don't know how they're people.
Because like
I mean, like it just doesn't seem real.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
I get what you mean because how do you think like I think I felt when I met Pixel Terror for the first time. Essentially, he's had a bunch of different accolades, different performances in terms of festivals around the world, and even on Rocket League, just off of Monster Cat in general, is he's had multiple releases off of that. So I've known about Pixel Terror forever.
Cool, Monster Cat releases. That's
exactly.
Something that's a resume immediate.
So to be able to pick his brain a little bit and just talk and just kick it for like here and there while I was in LA was really, really cool. But again, at the end of the day, you just have to like
they're just a guy.
Yeah,
that's just so weird.
Like
that's a tough barrier to break down.
Yeah, you just gotta like keep in mind like he's just
they're doing the same thing. They've just done it longer and like
the experience is there, but at the same time like he's just another guy.
No, that's a good point too, because when we actually met Mitch, he like complimented us so much on like the song, and like we talked for a bit, and he and I just like all of us just shot in the shit in the green room smoking joints. We watched a World War II documentary for like an hour and a half, and we were all just riffing on the World War II documentary. Like Taboo
Really?
was making some hilarious jokes, so good.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he was super funny. And I like finally like opened up after we started watching the documentary, and him bringing up also like, yeah, dude, I suck my own dick. Like, of course, every guy does. If you don't, you're gay. Like, if you haven't tried, you're gay. And I'm like, you know what, Taboo, I like you.
Yeah, yeah.
We want to. We're the talks are in of collabing in the future.
Oh,
rap
that's
song.
sick.
Like rapping with Taboo.
That would be so sick, dude.
But that's cool. That did break the barrier of like, he to me is more like homie. Chris Otter, I feel like, is also homie, but I'm just like, gosh, you're doing all the stuff like Sergeant pick me. Like I'm gonna like I will do my duty more so. He's like a people leader rather than like a artist like guy.
Yeah. No, I mean like the same.
They're so cool.
Like Chris, he reminds me like he's like Disco Donnie, because Donnie runs a lot of the festivals down south. So
does he also play, or am I thinking of a different guy?
You're thinking of a different guy.
I think I am.
Well, like if I'm not mistaken, he did back in the day, but not.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm thinking of Timmy Trumpet.
Oh,
Disco. I don't know. It's the alliteration. I think.
Oh yeah.
Like Disco Donnie, Timmy Trumpet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got you. But
that's because
I've had a conversation with him a while back ago, and but again, he's just a guy. He's just a guy who throws really big parties. And when you look at it like that,
that's a cool guy.
Then yeah, he is a cool guy. The first time when I talked to him, he had on I want to say like a dark blue tracksuit with leopards, bright yellow leopards, all up and down the tracksuit, with Gucci shoes on and a Gucci satchel. And I was like, this is exactly what I would picture Donnie.
Oh my goodness! Even the name Donnie Disco, he's got to be dressed like that.
So and then it had like bright yellow stripes. I mean, like strips going down the pant leg, and I was like, "This is exactly what I would think."
Dude, he is a walking high-vis jacket. That's exactly what happens.
But I was like, "This makes total sense."
Yeah.
For like looking around, and you see this really dope festival going on, and you see,
and then like this is probably the guy.
This makes total sense. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, like I don't know, his fashion sense is dope. So, but yeah, I mean, like as long as you're able to treat people like they're just normal people, then that alone goes a long way, because like as soon as you start to like lose it and like fangirl, then
they can tell.
They will. Oh man,
I was watching totally. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was watching it was a podcast, and a few comedians were on it, and they were talking about how they've like messed up by like meeting somebody that's like really cool and like kind of being too fangirly and like pushing them away a bit. So it's like, but it's also like you're only doing it out of like respect and like appreciation, but it's like they can tell because thousands of other people do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
you got to be a cool guy, but that's tough.
Yeah, it's
the more you're around the people, the easier it gets.
Right, and that's why I really appreciate my time in LA, because it got me used to being around so many people that were of that higher tax bracket of the industry. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get used to that pretty quick, and just kind of be like, okay, this is just another guy. I mean, or this is just another girl. So
yeah, that's true. A lot of time around it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just like not as exposed. So it's like, that makes sense.
Because one night,
I love people.
Yeah, I feel you. Because I ended up, so there was like a underground show one night, and me and my friends decided we're gonna go, and they had like a secret headliner. Secret headliner ended up being Virtual Riot.
God damn.
And then, but again, as long as
Sorry.
Had to brace for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as long as you treat everybody like they're just people, then they're like 10 times more likely to just kind of like continue the conversation of whatever y'all are talking about.
Yeah, no, you're just you're
just shooting the shit at that point.
Exactly.
So,
it is important to shoot the shit.
So that's one like important lesson that I've learned, and not even necessarily like that I've like just, oh my god, fangirled in front of somebody, but I've kind of had that mentality like the whole time. I don't know, because like I try not to have that thought of like putting people on a pedestal.
Like a hierarchy or like caste system.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's hard because
that's a healthy mindset.
Yeah, but it's also, I understand that it's hard because being at a festival, when you're on stage, you're literally above, like you're literally on a pedestal because you're so, just by height, because of the stage, you're literally above people looking down.
You're commanding the sounds and lights that the people are like seeing in their minds.
Everything that they are experiencing is because of you, or
in their mind.
Yeah, in their mind, it's because of you. So, so I mean, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
In those cases, so I mean, I get it, and it's just a healthier mindset.
You'll have to meet Chris. You guys would have really good conversations.
Yeah, I would love.
You guys conversate in the like same way. You guys could have like really deep conversations. I just have a feeling, like the way that you talk. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I just know he's. I would assume he's just more so in the Midwest area more than anything.
Yeah, I think it's like I'm imagining like a 2-state radius from Kansas, like out.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah,
something like that. He's like the main man. I really don't know any other like. Maybe besides you mentioning Disco Donnie, I don't know any other really big promoters. Rawl is putting in work in the local area.
Oh yeah, really?
But yeah, he's still putting on 8th House production shows. But like in terms of like other people, I don't know. Black Magic, they don't really promote as much. They are still putting on shows. But there's not like they aren't as big of a like promotion team anymore. So it's like the Royal Grove, Grig putting on shows, or Rawl, or 1% Productions, and that's it for them all.
Really?
That's all we got. Rad Cadillac occasionally if it's something really cool. We had Son Holo come.
Oh yeah, I saw
to the
that.
waiting room. Dude.
Yeah,
that's he outgrew that place like 15 years ago. It was ridiculously packed. We saw a fight. We saw
who's fighting at a Son Holo show?
It was bad. I'm pretty sure Phil was there. This may have been a different show. Phil did this at one of the shows, but somebody, Phil Ostermeyer, filthy Phil.
Yeah,
he's awesome. But a guy like got into a shoving match with like a 16 or 17-year-old kid who was like, he looked Hispanic, and the white guy called him the N-word, which doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't.
But also, Phil immediately, I'm pretty sure, dropped the guy. I'm pretty sure. Or Phil at a different show dropped a guy that was like hitting on like a girl or hitting on somebody else.
Yeah.
But Phil's a badass. I love him. But yeah, that show was crazy. Like a bunch of people got kicked out. There were like fights outside. We were all there for the spectacle.
Wow.
Like half of San Holo's set, we were listening to these beautiful, airy tunes and looking at absolute
mayhem,
fiendish
violence
on the street.
I can just hear like the breakdown of light.
Yeah.
When it's just the vocal, and I just see like somebody getting haymaker to my left.
It was crazy. There was a whole line of people at the windows at the waiting room, just like leaned over, looking outside, watching what was happening.
Wow.
It was wild. It's like part of the reason I don't really remember much of his set, only because he was in my ears and violence was in my eyes.
Wow, that's so sad. Like, bro, what are you doing fighting at
San Holo? Like, at least do that at a Riot 10 or like a Diesel. Like, if you're gonna like be on the ragier side,
if you're gonna choose violence, don't do it at a San Holo show.
No, that's the one place to be like, I love you, friends.
Right.
Let's go hug and like drink a light beer.
Yeah, let's
drink a seltzer on the beach. Yeah.
Let's go talk this out.
Speaking of which, do you want one of these?
No, I'm really just chilling on this.
Yeah, cool. No, I didn't want to be a bad host.
Yeah, on this specifically untitled energy drink
True.
Um,
It is untitled.
yeah, this
It's
this knockoff name brand energy drink.
it's
I don't
called
know.
turquoise hydration.
Yeah.
Is
We're-
what
we're
the
gonna-
people call it.
we're gonna stick
And
with
this
that.
is definitely Bud Light. This one, I can't really hide this much.
Yeah, you
Dude,
see,
ever since Shane Gillis got signed to Bud Light, I've been like, okay. I've never really been a fan. I've just never liked the drink. I've usually been a Busch Light, but Shane Gillis is really funny. So
I don't know. Like I've never really been a beer person. I've tried.
I
I've
don't
tried
know
a
if-
lot, but like
Mhm.
everyone just tastes like it
No, it
tastes
tastes like
like
piss.
I feels like I'm essentially tasting liquefied wheat.
yeah, it's like
And I'm like-
blended bread.
Yeah, and I'm just
Basically.
like, it's just not my thing. Like
I
I
don't know.
wanted to try, like I wanted it to be, but I'm just like I'm just not that kind of guy.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. I don't genuinely know how people could actually have a palate for beer. Like I don't.
I know plenty of people like
Like, I like beer, but it's not that I like how it tastes. It's like this is an easy way to not get way too hungover on a beverage, as
Mhm.
opposed to liquor. Only because you're
Ah.
drinking more water by volume and it's like less concentrated. So
Yeah.
it takes like 10 of these, but you're also getting hydrated. Whereas you drink 10 shots. I'm sorry, audience. 10 shots of liquor and you're done for next morning.
Yeah, you really gotta pace yourself.
You do.
Definitely on the liquor.
Yeah. No, that's the easiest way to end a night.
Because boy, I have seen some
Dude.
terrible.
Do you have any crazy party stories from LA? Do you have anything like comes to mind or like a weird thing that happened? Because LA is weird. I've seen homeless people do weird stuff.
Yeah. I was me and my boy Lost Chameleon. Shout out Lost
Shout out.
Chameleon. We were at the Hollywood Palladium, and great show. It was it had Ghastly, Jaws, a few other people, but I remember we were leaving a little bit early just to get out of the traffic. And we were going somewhere else, like we were going to like an afters or something like that. And as we're walking to the car, there's a fight that breaks out. And a fight breaks out, and the guys are like fighting by the sidewalk, but they're kind of off on the street, but not on the sidewalk.
Gotcha.
Essentially, they trip on the sidewalk, on the curb, and they trip and fall onto a homeless guy's tent.
Oh no!
But
That man's gonna be pissed.
yeah, but the guy was actually like getting it in with some other girl at the same
In the tent?
in the tent.
No, he's even more pissed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a homeless.
Yeah,
That's an easy crime story.
yeah. That it was a like
They fight
at that
They
point.
scream
No,
each
at
other?
that point, I immediately told I was like, we gotta go, we gotta leave.
Oh, that's rough.
We have to leave. I don't know now. Okay, I remember watching this, and like when I said we have to leave, I remember them specifically saying like, "What? Why? What happened?" I was like, "Nope, the car,
You just go.
the car." So I don't know if they actually saw it
Mm,
because it was
That's
like
true.
if you know the Hollywood Palladium parking, it was kind of off. There's a gate on if you're in the parking, there's a gate on the left hand side. And it was on the other side of that street, so it was kind of like off in the distance. But I just remember seeing like a girl kind of half naked running out the tent or like climbing out the tent essentially, and I was like, that's not what I think it is it? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
dude, that's rough.
Let's go.
It's rough to be homeless. You got yourself a tent? Heck yeah. You're planning a night with a girl that might or might not be homeless. You bring her over to your pad, your crib, and then you're in the middle of getting it in for the first time in like 1,000 years, and two people fall over fighting on you, dude. I would be so pissed.
I just didn't even want to know the end of that confrontation because
I would be a homeless in rage. I would be so pissed.
it was
Like
really-
this pussy's the cleanest thing I've had in years.
and
like-
and for what? Because somebody spilled a drink on you? I don't know. I can't
It's
speculate
crazy,
on
dude.
why the fight happened or any of that, but it was a
That's crazy. That's a good
yikes.
LA crazy. That honestly, I feel like that I would see that.
Or
often.
even there's a softer story.
Yeah.
One of the first few. No, I was out there for a couple months, but I was with a couple of friends and we went out to a Brownies and Lemonade show. It ended up being What So Not's album release party.
Gotcha.
And I remember a lot of people were there, a lot of important people, and
Is What's not a rapper?
No, he's a producer.
He's a producer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different guy.
Go look up. You should know this song, Jaguar Trap.
Okay, I'll check it out. I probably will.
Okay, so anyway,
come on, yeah.
So doing a album release party. He's spinning on the decks, and I could, once you've been in like DJing long enough, you know what emergency loop sounds like.
Yeah.
So, but he's mixing it. He's just correcting it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But it kept happening, and so at one point he's like, "Does anybody have a USB in the crowd?" And then all my friends look at me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But at the same time, I was like, "No, I'm not doing that," because literally my USB at that time that I had on me was messing up earlier that week or something along the lines of like where I was like, yo.
Yeah, like not reading right, not doing
Yeah,
right.
so I was like, the one thing I need is getting up there, throwing it in, and then in the middle of the drop, like that starts bugging out.
That would be very sad.
Yes. So I was like, you know what? No. I'm just gonna take this L and not do that because
True. Or if your drive works but the CDJs are messed up,
yeah,
that's still not fun.
But at that time, I remember specifically thinking like, even when I was at home, I would have to put it in the in the CDJ and be like, please, yes, okay,
dude.
Like
I have such a big bone to pick with CDJs.
Why?
It is because you can't test your USB. You can't test anything unless you have an actual CDJ. Like I could export things on my USB
all day,
dude. Yeah. The reason that tomorrow we are more than likely we will bring this like my setup stuff as a backup because I'm worried that my USB will never work. So I always bring my gear because it like I just don't. If I had one CDJ or one like record box like tester, even the top module just to see like if it reads,
yeah,
bet. But like you can't do that unless you're at a show or
at sound either that or at sound check for the show.
Yeah, sound check, and you have to be like, oh god, is my USB gonna work the whole ride there? That's my biggest worry every time. I know I can mix, but like if my stuff doesn't work, I don't have a set.
Yeah, so the one thing that I do is like I always try to have my laptop with me just so if I need to,
you can reformulate it.
I can reformat it to what works for the USB, and then in which case all I do is just throw the playlist back on it.
Yeah,
and then I should be good. Now,
theoretically,
yes, theoretically yes? Is that annoying? Most definitely. But is it a lifesaver? Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I always bring I bring like every single musical piece of gear to ensure that I will have backups on backups because I'm just it's just hard to test.
Yeah.
If I could if there was a mode on a record box that you could plug your USB into and it would read it as if your program is a CDJ.
Oh yeah.
I think that would make so much sense. That probably is a thing. There's probably a program that tests CDJs.
So do you feel like you have the issue of like it just won't read?
Yeah, it'll say it won't read at all. And I've formatted to FAT32 on a Windows computer specifically, my one over there. I have 2 drives right now. Pretty sure they do work, but I don't want to have a fear if they might. And that's something that Serato will never have an issue with. And Serato now is owned by Rekordbox. It's owned by Pioneer.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they acquired it, but they still haven't integrated.
Wait, Serato is owned by Rekordbox.
Yeah, owned by Pioneer DJ.
Oh, Serato's owned by Pioneer. When did that happen?
I think it was like a year ago, maybe a year.
Oh my god,
maybe less.
How did I not know that?
Well, they haven't done anything. They haven't added any integrations. You can't easily swap between Serato and go to Record Box. I had to buy a subscription to a website for it to move my Serato cue points, reading, analyzing all that to Record Box.
Yeah.
'Cause that's manual.
Yeah.
It doesn't have integrated software yet.
Yeah.
It's like,
Jesus. I had no idea.
yeah,
Wow.
I have a bone to pick with them, but tomorrow
Understandably.
I will make sure it works. I promise you, I will make sure everything works.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like,
I got 3 backups.
yeah, like I have backups on like I have USBs with me that I know for a fact I'm most likely not even going to use. They're just there for peace of mind, essentially.
Honestly.
So like I understand in that aspect because like, man, it just like it sucks when it goes wrong, and it's not even like it goes wrong and the crowd knows about it. It could be it goes wrong, crowd has no idea,
Yeah.
and you fix it on the spot, but you're still in the back of your head like,
Shit.
yeah. Yep.
The whole
So-
riser, you're like, ah.
Yeah. So
That's
funny
happened to me a
enough,
few times.
funny enough. Here's a fun little story. I played
Right.
Freaky Deaky in Austin last year,
Mhm.
So I ended up, and this is user error. I'll fully admit that this is user error. I ended up slamming down I'm mixing 2 songs
Mhm.
at the build up, drop hits. I slammed down the channel, wrong channel.
Oh.
And I was like, so then I just get on the mic, gotcha, and then restarts the build, and everyone's like, oh,
Dude, that's it. Actually, I think the biggest secret, the biggest thing to do when your
Laugh it
stuff
off.
you own it.
Own it.
Like
yeah.
it was at the Taboo show,
Mm.
I think it was at Taboo, and Drew at one point does the exact thing, like clicks out the wrong channel, and I'm like, you guys weren't ready for that drop, like you guys sincerely weren't ready for that.
No.
But who likes Stranger Things? And brought in the next song, and it was a Running Up That Hill remix. But you got to own it, otherwise you've completely lost the crowd. It's like with anything. If you perform and you mess up, you have to you have to show awareness and also acknowledge it, because that makes everybody else be like, oh, you're human too.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I turned a knob wrong. Whoopsie.
right, exactly, and then on top of that, it's like it's obviously it's like a form of accountability, but
It is.
But at the same time, you can be like, hey, at least nobody can sit there and argue on the internet that my sets are
Yeah, like this.
pre-recorded.
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
I
We're raw
literally
dogging it.
screwed up right there.
Yep.
So I mean, take that what you will. But yeah, I mean, I like even tomorrow night. I have like a general idea of what I'm playing. I have a general idea. I don't have anything.
General idea at your service.
I don't have anything like song for song for song for song. Like the only things that I know I'm playing are new intro, originals, and and a few songs that I really like now. That I really like that have come out within the past couple years. Yeah, that's really about it. Everything else, I'm about to just say whatever and wing it. So,
dude, that's the. It's so nice to be able to do that. It's a different type of nervousness or nerve wracking than a planned set. Like for our set, we're gonna probably do 45 minutes. I'm gonna have everything planned out, cue points, everything perfect, ready to go. And then the last 15 will probably be freestyling, just Reese and I riffing back and forth, which I think that's a good mix because we can showcase our ability to plan transitions. Still have to execute it, but it's planned. But also still having the ooh, what are you gonna do here, Reese? This is coming in. Good luck.
Yeah,
that's a cool dynamic to do.
Yeah, it is.
Because every festival DJ, every DJ at a festival, their set is planned 100%. I think. For the most part. I may be wrong. I would plan mine to a T.
No,
10 times over.
A lot of times it is
I'd be so scared.
almost all of the festivals that I've played, not 100% thought out, but because I want to throw in maybe some old stuff that I've played before or something along those years prior.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Something that
Not
I think
100%.
of on the fly that I'm like, oh, this would be so dope right here.
That's
So
key. That's a good point.
right. So like something might come up in the moment, but
Having a plan and ability to recognize, ooh, what
like
am I
to
hearing here?
divert
Let me go ahead and do something else. And then you
exactly.
can bring it back in. Yeah.
And then
So
just
that's a good
go,
point.
and then you can either skip like however long that little detour took.
Mm-hmm.
You can either just go back to where you were supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
or just
Yeah.
jump in where you're supposed to be at in wherever your pre-recorded set is.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
or like not pre-recorded, but like planned.
Yeah, pre-planned.
Yeah. So
Pre-thought out. Yeah, planned. It is planned. It's not even thought out. I meticulously plan every cue point that I want to bring in because sonically I want it to be perfect. At least the reason I've been doing that is it used to be all freehand when Reese and I started, and then I started doing the DJ competition. They used to have a boombox.
Oh
in Lincoln.
yeah,
And I got up to either 7th or 8th. The official place, don't know. But if I would have made it to the next round, I would have won minimum $500. Like I beat out, and this is not talking bad. They're amazing artists. I beat out Glava. I beat out Lenticula. I beat out Grig. I beat out a few other artists that I can't think of.
Right.
But that made me super proud. But the reason I was able to is that made me be like, okay, this is a competition. I want this to be this, like perfect to a T, practice.
Yep.
Actually, my first time I did that was at Slushy.
Oh man, and then
opened for Slushy.
Yeah, I met Slushy a few different times at Icon,
cool.
or he played Freaky last year as well, so I got to I kicked it with him. That's a whole different story. There was
Would you get anything crazy?
Yeah, the entire stage.
What's his name?
Died.
By the way?
Julian.
Julian.
Yeah.
He looks like honestly, he looks like a Julian.
But the entire main stage died in the middle of the set. It's about like I'm with a bunch of friends, some of the artists who were also playing that year, and we're just vibing. All of a sudden, you see the visuals die. Seconds later, sound dies, like that. It literally just goes boom, boom, and everybody's kind of like
breaker. Gosh.
What's happened? So now it goes 5 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of silence, 15 minutes of silence. And at this point, Julian's he's just running back and forth in front of the rail, just kind of like high-fiving people and like just waiting because like there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
He's just like, and even from his perspective, I think, again, don't know 100%. I think this is kind of how the story went, but the CDJs died out of nowhere. Oh no, the visuals died, and then the CDJs just cut.
So like the breaker some electrical thing. Right?
Essentially, from what we found out later, while we were still sitting there waiting, was the generator died. Like the cat generator died. Now, that's what was told. I don't know if that is the actual truth, but that's what was told to at least our group from some of the guys who was working back there. So
that makes sense, but that's something like you should check.
But that's like it's the main stage generator. Like whether it ran out of gasoline, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not
sure. How do you?
Maybe just ran out of gas. I can't really.
You should have a backup main stage generator.
That's what they did. So that's kind of. But they were trying to figure out what happened.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's good. They had a backup.
Yes, because if they didn't, they just would have been like, "Well, sorry, the main stage is done for the night."
Yeah.
So no, it was just a matter of. I don't remember if Slushy got to finish out the last bit of his set or not, because I think we ended up going somewhere else. But I know for a fact that they got the main stage back up and running.
That's
so
cool.
So I mean, like, yeah, it definitely.
Good on them.
Yeah, they again the Disco Donnie team really try to do their best in terms of crisis management and things of that.
With an outfit like that, he would make sure everything's okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those pleated the stripes on the pants.
Yeah,
Disco Donnie.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was very, very. I think that was the first time I've ever seen something like that at a festival. So
yeah, I've never seen that. I've seen like minor like a laser will stop working for a bit, and I just
Mhm.
or like a light will like be like over here,
Oh yeah,
but like
yeah.
they'll fix it. But I've never seen that.
Yeah, it was like in the middle of the day. It was he had a daytime set. And luckily it was in the middle of the day because if it was in the night, oh that would have sucked
Dude.
so bad.
Figuring out a generator at
And
all,
at night. Oh,
but
and
also at
wait,
night.
wait. On top of the fact that day 2 was freezing. Day 2 was so cold.
You need that.
So
generator,
day
dude.
one was fine. It was actually pretty solid weather. Like it was warm, not too hot, a breeze coming in, solid.
like
It
that.
did get a little
fan.
chilly. It got a little slightly chilly towards the end of the night. No big whoop.
Dude, I'll take that.
We
dude. I
woke up
sweat.
We woke up the next day. We went outside and it was cold. Like some of the girls had to go change because the rave fits were just not like.
No, I
Oh
bet.
my
No,
god! I was like, yo, did y'all bring sweatpants or something? Because there's no way.
I bet half of them didn't.
Oh
I feel,
yeah, no.
I feel like they
No.
rely on their fits working the whole time.
Yeah,
I could be
but-
wrong.
but man, because I remember I saw some girls out there that night that were just suffering,
Dude.
just bearing through the cold, and I was like, man, oh man, I
Dude,
feel so
hot
bad.
girls can't get cold unless they're looking like they're dying on the floor at a
Man.
festival. It's like
But like,
they have that mindset. They're like, hot chicks don't get cold.
yeah, and
They gotta-
and all the power to them.
All
it was
power.
just the fact that like it was just the
Gosh,
fact
that's
that
cold.
when I specifically remember seeing like we're walking. There's a stage that was indoors. I forgot which stage it was, but shout out to homie Mashbit. He played that stage earlier that day. And we were walking back to that stage. I remember seeing a girl and the typical, like not typical, but like you know how rave fits can be.
Yeah.
So very, very small bottoms. If there was a top at all.
True. It'd be like
And
mesh. And
me-
like a
yeah.
bunch of like ropes and strings.
Yeah, like
around
it was
their
like
body.
chains or something along those lines. But she had her friends kind of huddled around her. But even they were in rave fits that were like, and I'm just like, dude, oh man.
That's rough.
Like,
They gotta huddle for warmth like
like
rave penguins.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't fun. I felt bad. But,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the only thing that they could really like. No, I take that back. I was gonna say the only thing that they could really get was like a pashmina, but no, they had vendors there that had plenty of like clothing that they could buy. So it was just like
They made a poor choice
They-
that cold evening. They should have maybe checked the weather.
like honestly it was one of those like it happened overnight, so everybody's asleep. So you wake up the next
true.
morning, you're just like,
True.
oh,
The Molly wears
God.
off, your body temperature gets cold. The women wake up, they're upset.
On top of that, like it dropped like 30 degrees. So
Yeah.
we're sitting there like,
That's so cold.
yeah. I just remember,
Dude, I hate
Like-
waking up in a cold. I guess both. Go on. What do you remember?
I remember someone like, I hung out with Mashbit, a few other guys, and Peter James, and we all were just kind of like, and this is for the slushy set.
Mhm.
But after one point, we were like, "Ooh, okay, I'm breaking point. All right, let's go inside because there was like a VIP lounge. It was inside,
nice.
and we could chill there.
That sounds far better.
Yeah, it was. But we just ended up going backstage to the stage that Mashpit played at earlier that day.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was cold. It was so cold.
This
So,
was in Texas.
Austin. Yeah, it was in Austin.
Dang.
So yeah, I'm hoping which that's coming up in like October. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen because
Yeah.
that cold front like kicked everyone's ass and it
Yeah,
was
that
so bad.
sucks. For it to happen at night and then get better in the morning, cool. But for it to happen overnight and then just suck
And
in
it
the morning,
sucked all day. It was all day.
oh,
Like it didn't get warmer. It just
I don't know what I would prefer.
it was just like that numb kind, like
Oh yeah, the frigid
yeah,
air.
yeah.
I think I would prefer that over way too hot, but I'm not sure.
No, I'll take hot all
Maybe
day.
it depends. You take hot?
I take hot
I'm
all
trying
day.
to think because I'm a bigger guy. I sweat pretty easily.
But think about this, okay? It's cold. You're at a festival, outdoor festival. Now you're trying to bounce around to get warm. You sweat. Now your sweat's cold.
Yeah, and it's you don't really want to
And-
move anywhere when it's cold.
And now your socks are wet.
That's
And
true.
it's just all bad
That's
from
true.
there.
I'd rather bite the bullet with sweat at a festival than the
because
cold.
at least when your sweat gets cool and it's hot outside, then that's actually cooling off your body. So
That's true.
because even LBW this year, it was day one was actually it was decently hot but super humid.
Ew.
Yeah, it was not.
That's my worst thing, dude. Because
Day 2 was way better. Day 2 was way better, but ooh,
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, day 1 was. Ask anybody who went. Day 1 was kind of.
No, I bet. Especially, in Texas too.
Yeah,
Like
so,
that'll do you.
Yeah. Now, LBW, I've played in 2022, but definitely a festival that I want to play again because, obviously I've already raved enough about the Disco Donnie team and how much I appreciate those guys, but just the setup of the stage where they have the base stage, it is a walk. So anybody who knows where Panther Island is, you kind of already know, but. So it's on a place called Panther Island in Fort Worth, Texas, and when you walk in, the main stage is directly to your right, essentially. Like the main stage, VIP, all that is. You walk in the GA gates, immediately to your right is the main stage.
That's
bold. You go to the left. You walk past like the merch tables, the med tent, and then there's the house stage. And then there's a pretty decent walk all the way until you get to the base stage.
Ooh.
Now, that's from a festival goer's standpoint, like an attendee standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
From an artist standpoint, yes, that walk is annoying. But when you get on stage, all you see is like, yes, there's the people, and then you see the skyline of Fort Worth in the background.
That's pretty sick.
It's so.
That
dope.
sounds cool.
Like I'll show you a picture or video I took on stage 2 years ago, and you'll see like Now, granted, when I played, it was I'm not gonna say unfortunately because day 2 was way worse, but it was overcast that day, so it was like just straight clouds. But day 2 got rained out, so I mean, like I'll take it. I'll take it.
You got to play.
Yeah, awesome. For sure. So. Yeah, it was straight overcast, but it's still such a dope sight to see, like to see the Fort Worth skyline in the background as you're playing to like all these beautiful people. It's so sick.
That's a big memory. That's like a milestone memory snapshot.
It's because if you've ever seen if you've ever been to or seen the live stream of Lollapalooza in Chicago, it's kind of like that, just a very small, like dimmed down version of that. So it's really cool to be able to say that I've been able to play that festival, or just the fact that I've been able to play all 3 of the Donnie festivals in general. Let me rephrase. All the Texas Donnie festivals, because they've got festivals outside of Texas. So like I think they have Sunset Fest. I know they work on what is that called? Paradise Blue in Cancun.
Yeah.
That's
Ember Shores, stuff, right?
So Paradise Blue is, I think that's Excision stuff. Ember Shores, that's Millennium. They work on that as well, in at the same resort.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
having a red and blue festival. That's pretty tough.
But those are the 2 that I would love to tackle next.
Dude, I would go to, if you play in Cancun, I will go to Cancun.
That
would give
man.
me an excuse to go to Cancun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any other reason to go unless my
So-
homies are playing or doing anything.
Yeah, I wanted. I would love to. I'd love to be able to tackle one of those two, if not both of those festivals, because honestly, like, who wouldn't want to go to a rave festival on the beach?
I wouldn't want to be friends with the people who wouldn't.
Yeah.
I
Now I feel bad for the people who.
can't.
No. I feel bad for the couple that like planned a random vacation.
Oh, yeah,
And it ends
yeah,
up
if it's
being the
that
same
close,
week.
yeah.
It ends up being the same weekend as a dubstep
That could be
festival at the
problematic.
same resort.
The people that
It's-
would book that would have no idea either.
No,
It'd be like
it's-
my clients
oh,
that I work
man.
with on the phones. They would be like very, very old, and they would be like, "What?
Yeah,
What's going on?"
yeah, it's really bad.
That's funny.
From
That's
what I've
funny.
heard.
That's
from
so
what I've heard.
funny.
But yeah, I would love to play that show. Just because I've seen nothing but good. Like I've seen and heard nothing but good stuff. I don't think I've heard any negative.
I never have.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
I
a
have either.
single anything bad. Same with Cyclops Cove and like Cyclops Rocks, Subtronics
Oh,
and stuff, and
yes.
Ida's in Florida. Dude, that's all been going so swimmingly. If I ever got to play a Cyclops Cove, I won't even just kiss him on the mouth, dude. I'll kiss him on his south.
Oh,
I will give
crazy.
him love, dude. I will teach him a new way.
That's crazy.
Yes. I love him, dude.
So, on top of speaking of festivals, I just
Yeah.
saw that that sudden death,
Is he doing Rampage?
the Caverns
Okay.
festival got canceled because the contract between him and the Caverns, I think it just expired, or they didn't want to renew it, or something along those lines.
Oh.
So, yeah, so they're gonna revamp it.
Wow.
I think they're on the verge of looking for a new venue. Sorry to anybody who did not hear this news yet. Sorry to be the bearer of bad
Yeah,
news.
we're breaking it.
But
We're breaking it here.
yes,
Wow.
I think I saw that on the way here.
I mean,
Like,
if the people that own the caverns have seen sudden death 3 times, and they're just like people that like own the place, but if they or twice or whatever amount he's played, if they saw 2 or 3 satanic rituals and like a bunch of like, if I were anybody that would probably own that property, I would be absolutely horrified. Like,
yeah,
give Elenium,
okay,
put him in.
let's
Dead Mouse in the Caverns. Give Weird Owl in the Caverns. But Sudden Death, that is a
they kind
It's
of
blood
realize,
demons.
they kind of look at each other like, huh, there's thousands of people going into this cave of ours.
the only color's red.
There's only red coming out, and the artist is talking about, not directly, but it looks like, because I have no idea what this artist is talking about, but it looks like some type of satanic
He looks like
seance.
he's hurting the
Right.
audience actively.
And he's
wearing
got
a deer
he's got
mask.
he's got an antler
Yeah,
mask.
a whole
on his
deer
head,
skull.
like,
and he
got
levitates
a-
from the ceiling. Yeah, no, I'd be a bit. I could see it. If that's
Side
why,
note-
I get it.
Side note, I love Sudden Death. I'm joking.
He's
2000% joking. He's actually really cool.
Oh, he knows we love him.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out Sudden Death. But yeah, like on paper, like looking at that, I could
see it.
kind of see it.
Yeah, the Wiggles should play in the caverns. That seems like more of their speed, or like a country band.
Maybe to cleanse it.
Yeah. No, they should have
Like
the
a wholesome-
Wiggles. Yeah,
They need some wholesomeness and some wholesome
actually,
vibes
they
in
should bring the
yeah,
Venga Boys, the Wiggles. They should bring I don't know, some Frank
Like,
Sinatra Jr.
no,
should come in and
bring,
sing
like,
in there.
Rascal Flats or something.
Yeah.
Just to like.
I think that'll
just-
ease things.
they're gonna-
That'll ease the tension. The demons will stop.
Yeah,
coming out of the walls.
maybe to like maybe try to like sage the
Exactly, that will sage it.
That's so bad.
Dude,
But I mean, like, you gotta know what you're signing. You gotta know who you're booking. Like,
yeah, they should have realized this the first time.
No,
Maybe they did. Maybe it is just a matter of
the contract expired.
contract and
yeah.
like they under different management or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's funny to speculate about.
Yeah, that's hilarious. but yeah, it could be a lot worse because it could have been like Middlelands. I don't know.
What happened? I
It just
didn't it get
died.
canceled
It-
or
yeah,
it stopped?
It just stopped.
Was that in Texas? Was that
Yeah.
Excision's like trying to bring Lost Lands to Texas? I don't know. That
Honestly,
was
it was so long ago now that I don't even remember. Like, this was like 2016,
It's been a long
2017.
time since I've heard about it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a medieval themed
Oh.
festival, but there was so much mud. There was there were some problems.
Dude, I hate when festivals get muddy. It's not the festival's fault, but gosh, like 6 inches deep of mud trying to walk anywhere. That just
I've never experienced that, and I just don't
Dude.
want to.
Back when local festivals existed, like Strangeland, it was, I don't know if you knew this at all, but it was Strangeland second week of June. It was Love Fest third week of June. And then second week of July, it was River Jam. And third week of July, it was Hullabaloo. So
Oh
3
my
or 4 day
God.
festivals, local, all locals. Shit cost like $25 for the whole weekend.
Oh wow!
It was beautiful. EDM, jam bandy, but mainly EDM. Like all of the local EDM artists that were like arose at that time. Cubit, Matt
Yeah.
Autry,
Yep.
Rec Effect,
Yep.
all of those individuals.
Yep.
Yeah, but there was a festival. This is the last one they ever did in this bankrupt OSU, and I know this. Well, I guess I'm 85% sure of this, but
Yeah.
they had a festival and they had to move Strangeland because River West Park didn't want to do it anymore.
Yep.
So they moved it to Nebraska City, and they also booked one of the biggest artists in Australia. One of my I really enjoy them. They're called Jacoby, but they're like funky. Like they have a vocoder, keyboard, guitar, like
Yeah.
really cool, jazzy, groovy. But it probably costs like 40,000 plus to bring them in. And after the first day, it torrential downpoured to the point where if you stepped, your shoe's gone. Good luck. Good luck. If you're wearing boots, good luck. So the whole place, and it was on a hill, a giant hill, and the stage was at the top, the main stage.
Yeah.
So all of the rain just cascaded down and pooled. It was gnarly, dude. Reese told me a story. I'll be vague, only because I don't want to butcher the details, because
Yeah.
it's pretty funny in existential ways. Reese, so there was a girl that was freaking out in her tent, and Reese, it was super muddy.
Yeah.
And a girl came up to him that he knows and was like, hey, my friend's really freaking out. And it was downpouring rain, middle of the night. Reese is like, okay, I'll go check on her. And he walks in, and he's like, hey, like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And this girl is like, you know, she's like kind of sad. She's like kind of in her own head. And then Reese realizes she doesn't have any legs. And he immediately, he's like, yeah, are you okay? And she's like, I'm really sad because I don't have legs. And there's like not much you can do to console that.
Yeah.
You can't make it better. How do you fix that? So Reese carried her on his back and like brought her to her friends. And it was like really awesome that he did that and super cool. But what a situation.
What do you say to that?
You don't. I'm sad because I don't have legs.
And you can't.
You can hardly
You can't
even like.
sympathize.
You can't even be like it's okay because like that does suck. It's
yeah,
okay,
it's-
but like that does.
Like you can't be like, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, or like
It's-
you know we'll get you some soon. Or like
Yeah,
well no we can get another at Walmart
It's-
tomorrow.
It's the best. Yeah, the best thing you can do is just like, what can I
And
do?
she
to
was
help?
tripping. She was. That's why she was freaking out.
Well, I had a hunch, but I didn't want to like.
Yeah. No, I should have prefaced it with that. That makes sense. But yeah, I would.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, he just picked her up on her back, and it was easier probably than a backpack, and just like carried her over, brought her to her friends,
Wow.
and like saved the day. But
What a
like,
guy.
what a visual!
Yeah. That's.
What a situation to walk into. In the same way you saw the homeless people and the fighting, like
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
just something. That's a memory that most individuals don't have. Like
Yeah.
I like the weight of my memories. To me, like I hold the most how like unique and like weird they are. Like if there's a situation that I've been in that most people haven't been in, and I can like appreciate the absurdity of it, that's a memory I really like.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what. I'm not sure what dictates me holding, like really holding on to a memory or not. Because something can be really stupid, and I remember it to a T, and then something that's like that should probably be really
Probably important.
I'd be like, oh, like even not too. There's a remix that I'm working on for somebody,
Ooh.
and I ended up having to call them and be like, I knew it was around a certain month, that the end of the month, but I was like, hey, that's coming up, right? And they're like, oh no, you're good. We're pushing it back another month. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, we're good. But yeah, I mean, I was
Nice.
like, just stuff like that. I'm like, I should probably know this, but
Yeah. No, I feel you there.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, sometimes it just kind of in one ear out the other. Sometimes, but
Dude, I'm that way with like my whole short-term memory. Like I've got like elephant brain long-term memory, but like somebody could tell me something in 10 minutes, like it's our plans for the day. Like Em will be like, "Yeah, let's eat some salmon mac and cheese." And then I'm like, "Ooh, Runza sounds really good." 10 minutes later, and I like completely forgot.
it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, she's like, "I thought we were doing this." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I've forgotten."
yeah. No, trust me.
It's just
I
weird.
feel
It's
you.
weird how that works.
Yeah, trust me. I have no idea, because I'll sit there and tell you like almost the entire day of how Ubby 22 went. But if you ask me what happened last week, I'd be like,
Right.
yeah, I really, really couldn't.
Like genuinely when when I like looking back even on like earlier this week, I was submitting my time for work today for the past 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and I was like, what was my schedule even last week? Like what happened last week? And I went to it and I was like, oh, I don't remember any of this. But it's like those memories are so weird, but it's like I remember what I had for dinner the past few nights. I remember weird things my friends say. I remember weird bits. But like
Yeah.
I will apologize always for my lack of immediate memory, but always know it comes from negligence, not malice. And I think that's an important thing too.
yeah. It's huge, because a lot of people will just like automatically assume that you just kind of brushed whatever they just said off,
Yeah.
and you really have to preface like, no, my short term memory is just that bad.
Yeah. Or like I literally forgot. Like I mean this.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be this. I'm not trying to be that guy. But like, what did you just say?
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
exactly.
So
it happens to you.
yeah, so I trust me, I get it, because everyone know, like, people who know me very well know that like I'll sit there and completely space out and forget whatever they just said, and it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, I'm just like, I have no like yeah
Yeah, like please
like,
repeat.
I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, my
what you
systems
just-
were paused.
exactly.
Dude, it's like last time we had a podcast together, I remember a few things we talked about. And like I specifically remember like a few memories that you had told me and a few things that had happened, but I cannot remember the date or what year even. It's like that. It's weird.
Yeah. I have an idea. I'm pretty sure it was 2021, because
Was I with M? Do you know?
I don't remember.
I feel like I must have. I don't think I was. Did we have these lights the last time we recorded? I don't think we did.
No.
I don't think we did. And I think I had a
No.
different stand too. Yeah. No, it's been a while, man, but it's
Yeah.
weird. Like I remember a few crazy stories you told me last time, but like I don't know,
Oh man.
date and time, it all just kind of ever since COVID, dude.
Mm.
I don't know what year's which year. Like everything kind of blends. It was like 2019 was the last time I was able to know what day it was and know what month it was.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know
Yeah.
if you felt that at all.
No,
Ever since COVID, it's been
I
weird.
feel you. Like, is it crazy to think that you'll be able to tell kids like what pre-COVID felt like?
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
History books.
and
History
like,
books will have that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm witnessing a world historical moment. Yeah.
That's
there's
crazy.
a pre and post. Like now, there's pre-COVID era. There's a pre-COVID time period and a post-COVID time period.
The same way we learned about the Spanish flu back in the 1920s. It was going to be the same way we learned about this. But now we were much stupider, and we still are. I mean, we were scientifically less advanced then, but we're still stupid now. I remember seeing the pictures of people with fish tanks on their heads, like during the first few weeks, and like cones.
Yeah.
Like that made me look at humanity like, great.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. I mean, but like,
be safe, but like,
yeah, they were doing their best in terms of like trying to prevent themselves.
They were trying.
They were trying. I
will give them that.
Yeah.
That's the white people country try is a strong thing, and that's what every one of them were.
The good old fashioned try.
They were 75 years old and wore spacesuits and fish tanks and like
but at the same times we definitely had the same thing here in COVID times where people were wearing plastic bags over their head.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In COVID times, yeah, they were doing that too.
Yeah, so I mean, like, are we really any better?
No, it's the same thing.
But yeah, that's
crazy, dude.
It is.
It's a different time now. I mean, the moment COVID stopped, inflation began, and now, even for me in a cushy job, it's like, dude, a McDonald's sandwich is $8,
bro.
In Nebraska, a Big Mac meal is $18 in Cali. I've heard.
Oh,
I can imagine more.
Okay,
probably.
No, my mom will hate that I brought this up. Well, no, she'll probably laugh at it. But one more story before I got to go.
Yeah.
While in Cali, it was like my first week out there, and she's helping me kind of get everything situated.
That's awesome.
Yes, we love the supportive parents. But like the first thing we do, like we got to get some food. We've been moving stuff in. But let's go to this Wendy's that's nearby. We go to Wendy's, 2 combo meals. Just 2 combo meals.
No.
Only almost $30.
No, I was oh my god. I thought you were gonna say 20 and I was gonna say ow, but 30 is so
almost
much more.
$30.
Oh.
Like I remember like her immediately, I could see the regret in her eyes. It was like,
that's not cool.
Oh,
you can't
man.
afford that, dude.
$30 for some Wendy's.
No.
It's not like, but we're already in, like, we're in too deep. There's already 4 cars behind us. There's no way to get out of the drive-through. Like, you just got to hold that L now. So
you do.
It's just like,
wow, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Trust me. But,
well, man, is it getting time for you to
getting
on? Dude,
yeah.
I could talk with you forever. So it's been sick that we've been doing this for, I think, over an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I'm
awesome,
glad that
dude.
we got to do this and make sure that we got the time separated for it, because I know it's been a good amount of time now since that last podcast. So I'm glad that we were just able to sit there and sit and just talk for a minute and just catch up.
Yeah, no, this has been really nice. I feel like we more so even than the last podcast. We like just talked as like guys.
Yeah.
We're just talking about what's going on.
Yeah,
It's been really cool.
Now we get to get the weekend started because I have a show tonight at Rhythms. It's a Latin set, so that'll be fun.
That's enticing.
And then tomorrow, oh my God, tomorrow, that's gonna be so much fun. I hope all the homies can come out and make it, because I have a lot of stuff planned and just want to have fun, you know. That's the whole point. Just go out on a Saturday and just have a good time.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm excited. We cannot wait to play. We're going to be doing our EDM, our rap, obvious goofy dancing that will happen.
Yeah.
My hips are going to be shaking. Super pumped. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to shout out or anything else you want to say before we peace out?
Honestly, like, shout out to Omaha. Like, shout out to the Omaha scene, because like, again, without you guys like that, I really got my start here. For anyone who doesn't know, like, I lived here back in 2018, 2019, and I really got my start just from
You grinded, dude.
Yeah,
Immediately, you committed.
Like for
Still
like
shows.
3 years, and so once I left, then I took all of that knowledge that I gained from being out here and applied it in bigger markets and things like that. So it was paramount that I do that here first to really get my footing and making sure that I'm doing everything I need to do correctly. So yeah, for real, shout out to the Omaha scene. So everybody from the past, everybody from the present, and potentially everybody from the future. So anybody who I get to work with in the upcoming years. So yeah, I really I don't give Omaha enough credit in terms of that. So thank you for supporting what I've done, because yeah, I wouldn't be here without you guys. So so shout out the Omaha scene for real, because y'all are the OGs. So that's why I always want to come back, just to make sure I come see y'all at least once a year. So yeah,
dude.
but other than that, still got a bunch of new music coming. I actually dropped a new track called Utopia not too long ago, earlier last month. Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
I listened to that this evening.
So that's available everywhere. I still have plenty of new music that is coming along the pipeline, and plenty of new music, plenty of new show announcements, possibly a festival announcement. So we gotta wait and see how everything plays out. But trust me, a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Can't wait for you guys to see it all.
Amen, dude. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
It's been like super sick doing this, and I will reiterate, and I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for being along the ride for the Between the Cheeks podcast. Thank you for this experiment. JFrank, thank you for being the final guest on this podcast.
It was a privilege, man. Thank you for letting me be here.
Let me tell you in on the secret now, because I didn't want to say it earlier in the podcast.
Ooh.
Tomorrow and going forward, there's going to be some changes. The podcast and our production company will now be named Dude Actually Productions. We will have a new podcast. Same thing. It's going to be better with Dude Actually. And we are changing the name of Boss Bus. We love Boss Bus so much. We may do future things in whatever capacity it may be. But going forward, we will now be known as Retrofit. So thank you. Be here tomorrow in Omaha, Nebraska. Benson, 10 forward. Be there. Venue debut for me.
It's going to be sick.
Gosh darn annual convention for JFrank. Thank you, man. Thank all of you for everything that you've supported us with, and excited for the future.
Hope to see you there.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Heck yeah, dude.
Oh, that was a sick festival.